In this video, I'm going to share with you the straight line songwriting method, which allows you, a total beginner, intermediate, experienced songwriter, a different method, maybe, potentially different way of thought, a different thonk, a different funk about how to write music, write lyrics, finish songs, but more importantly, starting songs. So if you've written a song, you're in the right place. If you haven't written a song, you're in the right place. If you're worried that this isn't for you, I invite you to keep watching, because you might discover something that you didn't see. And that's exactly where this three-part process comes in, is that it helps you to get to things that you didn't know that you wanted to say. Songs are thematic. Songs are stories. And whenever you're sharing a song, you're actually sharing a message. There I was, sitting in Valencia, and I went to this park that they called the River. And in this park, I brought my guitar, and it was so beautiful out, and I wanted to write a song, and I was sitting there. I probably sat there for like an hour, and the most that I could come up with was like maybe half of a chord progression that was the same rhythm as the birds. My songwriting went on like that for a while, in between spurts of inspiration. When you write a song about heartbreak or pain or something that's fresh, I know a lot of songwriters who say, or a lot of my friends, I don't say song, I mean a lot of my friends who write songs, songwriters, they'll say, writing about, sometimes writing is just like, they'll say writing about, sometimes writing is just like, it just comes to you. It's like inspiration. It has to flow through you. Some kind of pain-induced or love-induced stimulation that creates the song. And I wanted to share my discovery recently of, and wait for it, that if you don't have anything to say, then it makes it incredibly difficult to write a song, right? So listen again. When you have something to say, writing songs is easy. And so a lot of people, they have this desire to write songs, but they don't have any sort of plan of how to do that. So the first step in writing a song is to figure out, what are you going to write the song about? And taking much more time there, sharpening your axe, 5 hours, 6 hours, and then taking 1 minute to cut down the tree because the axe is so sharp. So figuring out what your idea is the best way to start off your songwriting process. And I think that you'll agree, if you have an idea that you cultivate, you question, you do a little research, you find some allegories, you think about analogies, then you'll have somewhere really nice, firm to start with. You know kind of the essence of what you want to say. And if you even hone that down into a phrase or a message of like, this is the way that life is, or if you want the message to be that social media is good and fun, but also that there's a whole world right outside of your screen. I'm actually writing a song about that right now. That'll be out probably by the time, I guess it'll be out right now. So that's point number one. Figure out what your idea is. Come on now, that's simple. It's simple, you got it. I do want to share with you that this next step is the second place where people usually fall apart in songwriting. And it's a dangerous cascade, okay? So you have an idea, and then you approach the piano, or you pick up your guitar, or maybe you're just singing, or maybe you're making beats in Ableton or Logic or Pro Tools, whatever it is, and you're just like, kind of playing things around. Maybe you record something here, record something there, maybe you're taking voice memos, which I highly recommend, but it's not really going anywhere. You stop for a second, you break it down, and you go on a piece of paper, or I've been trying to use my iPad now, so that's cool. But go on a piece of paper and you just write out verse, okay, and then I'm gonna have a chorus, then a verse, and then a chorus, and then a bridge, and then a chorus. And then say, okay, well, what I want to say is that social media is kind of lame. So, but it's social media is fun, but also being outside is so great. So go for a walk. So I might start off, go for a walk, let the sun drip down your face. And then word by word, I just start to write. And you have to allow yourself to become a judge-free zone. You have to allow yourself to just express yourself freely, truly, honorably, with love for your heart. And just begin writing. And then maybe a melody will sink in, and then you'll say, oh, okay. And then the chords, or maybe try some chords. But it's very important that you write it down piece by piece. And you can circle this all the way down into the letters by letter. And if you're feeling really stuck, just literally pick a random letter and write that letter. And then you might ask, okay, what's a letter that might come after this? What's a word that starts with this that would lead me to a sentence that would share what I want to say? Because I already figured out what I want to say. Now I'm trying to figure out how to share it. So that's the second piece, is breaking everything down into its little tiniest stems so that we may expand them and ripen them. And then once we've written more than we need, then we can cut things out. Then you're working from this state of abundance in songwriting instead of this feeling of lack, of the empty page. Then we can cut things away, make them more beautiful to our heart's content. A reminder, number 1 was idea. Number 2 was piece by piece, until we have an overflow of idea and we trim away. Now that's the process, but it's really important, and the 2 prior processes won't work without this third step here. And so in the productivity space, it's talked about a lot that what gets measured gets managed. And so what we're measuring here when it comes to writing, just like a construction worker or an office worker or a dentist or a doctor or a lawyer, they measure their time in hours. Nurses have 12-hour shifts, and they do 12 hours of nursing for the most part. What you need to do is you need to create that structure for within your business, because Seth Godin, in his book, This is Marketing, he talks about how a dentist doesn't wake up necessarily and go, oh, you know what? I'm feeling dentist block today. I can't dentist. I just can't do it. Doctors don't get doctor's block, and birds don't get bird block. The reason being is that they just show up and they take those tiny actions during a given period of time. And so when you are a writer, you say that you get writer's block, but really we just haven't afforded ourselves the time that we need on the calendar. This is very important. Putting it on a calendar or Google Calendar and separating out time for the tiny pieces. Okay, verse 1, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. I'm just going to write whatever I can in that period of time. And it's very important that you either stick to your time or go beyond it, but stick to your time. And if it's on the calendar, you're measuring it, it gets managed. And then all of a sudden, piece by piece, you're working on songs in a much more efficient manner than you ever have before, because you have an idea, you have the broken down pieces of what parts you want to write, and then you schedule on your calendar and you actually do the work. That's the straight line, actually writing things down. And it seems like a crazy concept, but that is in fact the only way that writing occurs, is that you write, I write, we all write. And so follow your heart. This is just a hypothesis. I invite you to test it out for yourself. And if you enjoyed this video, drop a like and a subscribe. And the last thing that I have to warn you about is that it's very possible that you will start this process, you will start writing, but you will possibly get stuck in the editing phase of trimming back, like I talked about, and also possibly the finishing stage. So I'm creating a series for that, and you can check that out here or down there. Drop one of these, drop a like, please, and happy songwriting. I hope this helps you to feel inspired and free to write because you choose to, and not because some divine inspiration has chosen you. You get to choose. Follow your heart. I love you. You're so cute.